Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to a very special flashback / elite Bitcoin holder show. Yes, it's time for a bonus video. That's conviction. Strong hand. Yeah, this is a hybrid type of show. You're going to get some classics from 2016. You'll learn something. You'll see that I've got some conviction. I've been saying the same thing for a while. And you'll get a peek into my audio podcast only shows, the Elite Bitcoin Holder Show. Maybe some of you have heard this. Well, now all of you will get to hear it. It's the second part of this very special show. So pound that like button. Enjoy. I told you to hold. It's at 680 now. Hold. Okay, hold. Just we're in for some fun, I think. Hold it till 2020 at least. Because we all know that the majority of people in the United States are the opposite. They are obsessed with this comedy politics on TV, and don't be like that. If you're paying more attention to Bitcoin, look how exciting it is now, $680. You already know what you need to know about Trump and Clinton, okay, and sex scandals. It's like, what else do you need to know? Don't waste your time on that. In the long run, this election is going to pass. Your wealth is not going to pass, okay? You're going to have to, after November 8th, is that the day of the election? Yeah. After November 8th, you're still going to have to manage your wealth. The election will be decided. People like us, we have an advantage. We don't get caught up in the distractions, and we don't fall behind in life. So try to be that way. Try not to get caught up in distractions. Get focused on your financial future. Get focused on Bitcoin. And just, it's simple. Buy and hold. You know, I am reaching out to the MGTOWs. I have done this before. I will do it again. I think the entire Bitcoin community should graciously reach out to these guys. And to lead that, because a lot of them are wondering, they're a curious group, because you go through this decision process. And Vincent was kind of talking about this today, how when he became a MGTOW and realized that he wasn't going to get married, there's some frustration, there's some anger, there's all sorts of emotions, and people can lose their way and get caught up in anger, get caught up in all sort of, get caught up in sadness, depression, whatever. I want to say to those guys who are confused about their personal lives and everything like that, that you cannot lose focus on your financial life. And Bitcoin is just this amazing thing. So as I was saying in the previous section of this video about not getting caught up in politics, you young guys out there, or middle-aged guys or whatever, don't get caught up in nonsense. Learn about Bitcoin, because I know a lot of people are curious about Bitcoin, a lot of MGTOWs. And the MGTOW is the perfect Bitcoin person, really, a guy who's going to be able to invest in himself. And he's going to go to, he's an independent type of person, doesn't go with the flow, doesn't need a wife to feel like he's normal. And so Bitcoin is right now is an outsiders type of thing. It is not always going to be an outsiders type of game, though. But these guys, they don't want to miss out now, because some of them don't have that much money, but the money that they do have, they have a little bit of extra cash. They put it in the Bitcoin now. They're going to be some happy MGTOWs in 5 to 10 years, or by 2020, it'll be worth more, as I always say. Here's a spoiler alert, everyone. There's not going to be a World War III in the fourth quarter of 2016. I think he starts to talk about the fourth quarter of 2016. I don't know if he predicts that, but don't worry, people. Don't get caught up in that. There's not going to be a World War III with Russia or China or anyone in the next few months. Don't worry. Just get Bitcoin. Take care of your financial self. Don't lock yourself in a bunker. Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the Elite Bitcoin Holder Show that is only available in audio podcast format. I want to talk about a problem on this planet. There's so many people, a lot of them men, that feel hopeless, and they are obsessed with an upcoming collapse of society and the collapse of the planet. It's just around the corner.
And little do they know that this collapse that isn't going to happen has been around the corner for years and years. But now more than ever, people are believing it and taking their belief in it to the next level. There is no reason to be hopeless. If you're stuck in collapse mode, then you will be blind to the golden age that we are entering now, that we've already entered in terms of technology and abundance that's out there, that you can go in a completely different direction. You don't need to be measured in the old standards. You don't need to find meaning in some corporate job or government job. There is so much creativity out there. The world needs Bitcoin now, okay? This industry, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, whatever you want to call it, it should be as unregulated as possible, and people should be able to go their own way in it. There's so much potential. And no matter what, even if countries try to regulate it, it is growing at an incredible rate now. We already know this next decade is going to be dominated by cryptocurrency. It is going to be something that all the creative minds and the people that aren't into these set paths that were defined in the 1980s or the 1960s, the white picket fence paths. This is where those type of people are going to get into. And there are a lot of creative minds that are stuck in the doom and hopelessness realm of upcoming collapse that could much better use their brains in this amazing new industry that is just blooming right now. And again, when we talk about the golden age, it's beyond Bitcoin too. It's nanotechnology. There's a space exploration, health, new health discoveries, longevity. I mean, what a time to be alive. But we have people that have lost all meaning in life and are willing to take incredibly desperate actions and insane actions. So I just want to say there are going to be people that say, well, there's so many scams in the crypto industry. People will be let down if they get into it. Well, let's put it in perspective here. Would you rather people coming up with, scam coins, if you want to call them that, or BitConnect, Ponzi's, or would you rather people be so depressed and down they go on these shooting sprees? Okay, there's no question about it. In the free market of ideas, there are going to be some wacky ideas that are totally scams, but the people are going to survive those wacky ideas, and some of them are going to have a fun time gambling on them and learning lessons from them. That's opposed to, and they're in motion when they're getting into these things. But people are not in motion when they're in doom, panic mode, obsessed over the collapse that is around the corner. And when you get into that doom mindset of upcoming collapse, that word is used in so many different ways today. The economy is about to collapse. The job market is about to collapse. The environment is about to collapse. These things aren't happening. No, they're not happening. People have been saying this for years. Technology cancels this type of stuff out. Innovation. Don't you want to be involved in the innovation side of things instead of worrying about the collapse side of things? There's no progress in being obsessed with collapse. There is so much progress in this innovation. And again, Bitcoin is at the tip of the spear in innovation. And it is the future of the world. And you should find hope in this next decade of changes. That's exciting. That's exciting stuff. We're not doomed. And again, it's the total opposite. It's a golden age. But so many people don't realize that. They don't, and because it does take some work now, sadly, to realize that, wait a second, what the government's been preaching, what the scaremongers on TV have been preaching, that everything's about to fall apart and that you need to panic and then you need to worry and you need to get a government job and you need to depend on the government, that's not true. That isn't true. And that's just the way of the 80%er dependent class. And that's, it's easy to be a collectivist like that. That's the default. To be an individual, you have to opt out of the collectivist mindset. It is an accomplishment. So the collectivist mainstream concept, mainstream paradigm right now is it's doom and gloom. We need leaders to fix everything. collapse is imminent. I have no control over my life, but the golden age that we're in is, wait a second, you're getting more and more control over your life because of this technology, because of all the options out there. You don't have to live traditional lifestyles anymore. And Bitcoin embodies all of this. So I say, you can be in the collapse mode, or you can be in compete/creative mode. Okay. And I got to tell you, I love being creative. There's so many different ways you can go with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and there's much competition to get the most Bitcoin, to save the most. There's a lot of self-discipline in there. And so again, why are people in this day and age of technology, they become more and more worried about who their political leaders are? Why? I mean, putting voting on a pedestal. Think logically about it. Why do you do that? There is so little influence over the so-called greater good that you have by voting, okay? And people are obsessed with it. They spend so much time worrying about their little teeny bit of so-called influence over the greater good. Compare that to the personal responsibility culture, and you have 100% control over your own life with personal responsibility, okay? As opposed to voting, which is this your little sliver of hope that you have. Well, I'm going to make a difference in the greater good of society. No, take control over your own life with personal responsibility, and you will thrive in whatever society will be out there. And you will be in an overlay where you don't have to worry about these 100% control freak politicians. You are not worthless. And again, in this day and age, there are so many men that feel they are worthless, and then they go on these rampages because they think this is the only way they can make a statement, the only way they can make a change. Always be learning, and you'll be able to do anything. You'll be able to pivot, change your life, create a system, a new system that you define. You don't, excuse me. There's no reason to obsess over people getting government jobs because they check some box and they have no real qualifications. Stop valuing traditional jobs. Stop valuing corporate jobs and government jobs and traditional standards. Okay, there are a lot of people that are angry. Well, why did this person get that government job and I didn't? Why are all these people getting government jobs, getting government handouts, and I'm not? Don't worry about that stuff. It's worthless to you. Don't have envy. Don't be envious. There's so much opportunity that's out there now that you can change yourself for the better, and you don't have to worry about collective groups. Which one's going to win? Is your tribe going to win? Beat the other tribe? That never ends. That type of and you go down a spiral of very unproductive thinking and unproductive actions, actually. So yeah, you are not worthless. You've got a brain. You can exercise that brain by learning. And one can find meaning in Bitcoin accumulation. Okay, you can be proud of the self-discipline and proud that you are acquiring real assets. Again, there's so many people like, oh, everything is so fake today. No, there's a lot of fake stuff out there. There's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of people that only care about appearances. Doesn't mean you have to. You can acquire real assets and be proud of them. Be proud that of your wealth. You are not a victim. Again, today we have it's wealth shaming and victim priding. You don't have to be part of that. You can be pride in being wealthy and just ignore the victims. And again, Bitcoin helps you acquire real new skills also that you can find meaning in, those new skills. And there's so few people that are getting off their butts, willing to learn any new skill. I mean, it immediately makes you a 20%er. So remember, the 2020s is the decade of the double 20%er, 2020. There's so many opportunities for 20%ers out there if you have the 20%er mindset, if you don't care about fitting in, But again, we have seen lately that people have become so obsessed with fitting in and feel like they have no meaning in life, that they'll never have a job, that they'll never have the fancy cars and everything, that they go wacko, and they get into panic mode, and are just totally hopeless, and are sure that everything is going to collapse. So why don't they take their own lives and bring a lot of other people down with them? This is an era of transition. Set yourself up for the automation decade, or whatever you want to call it. Be a 20%er. You don't have to. A lot of people are like, my town, my city, my state is becoming such a breeding ground of incompetence and loser think and just meaninglessness. Well, okay, maybe if you feel that way, you can move to. There are plenty of cities where if you're worried about immigrants, or you're worried about someone taking your job, if you've really blown that out, then move away from them. Move to Boise. Okay, again, it's a lot different in that part of the country, and there's a lot of people moving there. Move to these exciting new places. And you're like, Boise, that sounds boring. It's in Idaho. Have you ever been there? Have you actually ever traveled around? Be in motion. Don't get stuck in the mentality that, oh, it's all going to end. There's no need to explore the world. And maybe your town does look down and out. If you're an American citizen, you can move anywhere. You don't have to be a tree. You can move out of the country. But I'd say, check out Boise, check out Boise, check out Spokane. I had been there before, and spent plenty of time there. And there's no reason to be hopeless there. There probably are some people, but you will see that, wait a second, the collapse of my own city. I don't have to go down with the ship in Baltimore. I can go to a city that's up and coming in the United States. So again, it's not everything is going to come to you easily. Okay, if you just sit there, it's not going to necessarily come to you. You might have to travel around to get into a new system, to be inspired. You always have to look for inspiration out there. I think, and moving around and thinking and reading, that conjures up all sorts of awesome inspiration and makes you a stronger person and gets you out of collapse mode. So I think I'll leave it on that note. I'm Adam Meister, because it is such a positive era we are in right now. And I think we should all spread the word of Bitcoin and the potential of this 2020 decade, this 20%er decade, that there's some easy ways out for the people who think they are worthless, that are stuck in collapse mode. It is, again, there are so many videos out there and some of the people are so-called, positive people saying, well, yeah, we've got to fear automation. We got to fear this. There's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. There is no collapse. People have been waiting for the so-called collapse for so long, and life just keeps on getting better in the United States. Abundance keeps on growing, and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is this wild, wild west land of opportunity that everyone should know about, and that the government should keep their hands off of, and we should, and to bring this to spin it this way to government officials, like, hey, dudes, let this be a free market. Promote this. Let people print their own money, and you won't have people shooting up Walmarts and shooting up bars anymore. If you give people this hope, that getting rid of, allowing hopelessness to go away, and to get people out of this collapse mentality will be very good for society as a whole. Stay positive, people. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Please follow me on Twitter, TECHBALT. Email me at adam@tresorhealth.com. And you can send me DMs also if you like these type of shows. If I should go more in these beyond Bitcoin type of direction. And tell me if you're excited about the 2020s like I am. I will see you later. Bye.